First Contact's price. The Proxima Centauri research station hung silently in space, its arrays of sensors constantly scanning the cosmos for signs of intelligent life. Dr. Sarah Chen had spent the last 3 years aboard the station, analyzing data streams and publishing papers about stellar phenomena. Like her colleagues, she'd grown accustomed to the endless silence of space. That's why the sudden burst of activity across multiple sensor arrays nearly made her spill her coffee. Unknown object approaching at relativistic speeds, the station's AI announced with characteristic understatement. Configuration suggests artificial construction. Sarah's hands flew across her console, redirecting additional sensors toward the approaching object. Her heart pounded as the first detailed scans appeared on her screen. The object was massive, nearly 2 kilometers in length, and its surface bore the unmistakable signs of technological engineering. "Send first contact protocols to Earth Command," she ordered, her voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through her system. "And get me Captain Rodriguez." The ship's approach defied known physics. It decelerated from near-light speed without any visible propulsion system, coming to a relative stop just 50,000 kilometers from the research station. Close enough for detailed observation, but far enough to avoid appearing threatening. Captain Rodriguez's hologram appeared in Sarah's office. "Dr. Chen, please tell me this is a sensor malfunction." "No such luck, Captain. We're looking at genuine first contact." She transmitted the latest scan data. "The ship's construction suggests a civilization far beyond our current capabilities. But something's wrong. The hull shows significant damage patterns consistent with weapons fire." The alien vessel's next action took them both by surprise. It began broadcasting on multiple frequencies, using basic mathematical sequences that quickly evolved into more complex patterns. Sarah's linguistics worked frantically to establish a basic translation matrix. Within hours, the first messages became clear, and Sarah's excitement turned to dread. The vessel carried refugees from a civilization called the Marana, and they came with a warning that would change humanity forever. "They're running from something called the Archivists," Sarah explained to the hastily assembled Earth Defense Council. "An ancient empire that doesn't conquer civilizations, they harvest them." The Maranan ambassador, a tall crystalline being named Vexra, projected images of worlds stripped of their technological achievements. "The Archivists believe knowledge is the only true currency in the universe," they explained through the translation matrix. "They study developing civilizations from afar, waiting until they achieve a unique technological breakthrough. Then they strike, stealing not just the technology, but the very knowledge of how to create it." "How many civilizations have they harvested?" General Hayes asked, his weathered face grave. "Thousands, over millions of years," Vexra answered. "My people developed biocrystal computing, merging organic and mineral processing in ways never seen before. When the Archivists came, they didn't just take our research. They extracted the knowledge directly from our scientists' minds. Those who survived were left with no memory of their life's work." The implications hit Sarah like a physical blow. Earth had recently achieved several breakthrough technologies: true quantum computing, early artificial consciousness, and the beginnings of zero-point energy manipulation. Any one of these might attract the Archivists' attention. "Why did they spare you?" Sarah asked Vexra. The crystalline being's surface rippled with what the translation matrix identified as deep sorrow. "They didn't. What you see is all that remains of our civilization, a handful of ships that escaped during a harvest, carrying our children and a fraction of our cultural heritage. We've spent the last decade warning other civilizations, trying to help them prepare. Some listen. Others, General Hayes prompted. Others believe they can fight back. They all fall. The Archivist's technology is centuries beyond anything you can imagine. They've absorbed the achievements of thousands of civilizations. Direct resistance is impossible." The council chamber erupted in argument. Some advocated for immediate military preparation, others for hiding Earth's technological achievements. A few suggested trying to negotiate with the archivists. Sarah studied the data streaming from the Moranan vessel. Something caught her attention, a pattern in the archivists' attacks. "They don't just take technology," she muttered, then louder, "they take understanding." But what if there was nothing to understand? The room fell silent as Sarah stood, her mind racing with possibilities. The archivists don't want our machines. They want our knowledge of how they work. But what if we could make our technology appear to work without actually understanding how? Vexor's crystalline form shifted in what might have been surprise. "Explain." "We create a massive deception. Make it appear as if Earth's technological achievements were flukes. Random discoveries we manage to implement, but don't truly comprehend. Meanwhile, we hide the real knowledge, the true understanding, so deeply that even the archivists can't find it." General Hayes leaned forward. Could that work? The archivists have never failed to extract knowledge from a target civilization, Vexor said, but there was a new tone in their translated voice, something like hope. "But they also never encountered humans before. Your species has a remarkable capacity for both innovation and deception." Sarah looked around the room, seeing the same realization dawn on other faces. They couldn't fight the archivists directly, but humans had millennia of experience in hiding, deceiving, and misdirecting. Perhaps that, combined with their technological achievements, would give them a chance no other civilization had found. "We'll need to act quickly," she said. "How long until the archivists might discover Earth?" Vexor's surface rippled again. "Their sensor networks are vast. Once they detect your quantum computing signatures, perhaps 6 months. No more." General Hayes stood, his decision made. "Then we have 6 months to make humanity disappear in plain sight. Dr. Chen, assemble a team. I want a comprehensive plan on my desk in 48 hours. As the council dispersed, Sarah stayed behind with Vexora. "There's something you're not telling us," she said quietly. The crystalline being seemed to dim slightly. "You are perceptive." "Yes. The archivists don't just take technology. They study how civilizations react to their harvesting. They learn from each encounter, adapting their methods. If your deception fails, they'll learn from it," Sarah finished, "and no one else will ever be able to use the same strategy. The fate of many future civilizations may depend on your success," Vexora confirmed. "No pressure, as your species says." Sarah laughed despite herself. "Well, humans do tend to perform best under impossible odds. Let's hope that holds true this time." As she left the council chamber, Sarah's mind was already racing with plans. They had 6 months to pull off the greatest deception in human history. The stakes couldn't be higher, not just for Earth, but for countless civilizations yet to evolve. Humanity's greatest strengths, innovation, deception, and determination, would be tested as never before. The game was on, and the entire galaxy would soon learn just how far humans would go to protect not just their own knowledge, but the right of all species to keep their hard-won achievements. The archivists were about to learn that some prizes, once discovered, refused to be collected. The knowledge collectors. The archivist vessel Eternal Repository emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Sol system, its massive form dwarfing the surrounding space. Chief Collector Gelm stood on the observation deck, their crystalline sensory arrays taking in the unremarkable yellow star and its planets. To most species, the system would appear ordinary, but Xeon's enhanced perception detected the telltale signatures of quantum manipulation emanating from the third planet. "Fascinating," Kyle murmured, their thoughts resonating through the ship's neural network. "They've achieved quantum coherence on a macroscopic scale. Add that to their artificial consciousness developments." "An impressive achievement for such a young species," agreed Secondary Collector Mira, her holographic form materializing beside Tyone. "Our long-range monitors suggest they reached atomic technology barely 2 centuries ago. Their rate of advancement is concerning." Xiln's crystalline form shifted in what might have been amusement. Concerning or promising? Quick advancement often indicates unique cognitive frameworks. Their knowledge could be particularly valuable to the repository. The massive ship's sensors continued their detailed analysis of Earth and its surrounding space installations. Something wasn't quite right. The quantum signatures were strong but erratic, showing patterns that defied conventional scientific progression. Back on Earth, Dr. Sarah Chen watched the archivist vessel's arrival through the quantum-shielded bunker's displays. "Right on schedule," she muttered, checking the time. "Status report." Her team of scientists and engineers looked up from their stations. Dr. James Rodriguez, head of quantum computing, spoke first. "Operation Ghost Protocol is proceeding as planned. All major quantum computer facilities are running our modified architectures. From the outside, they'll appear to be functioning through a combination of brute force and lucky accidents. The AI transition is complete," added Dr. Maya Patel, their lead consciousness researcher. "We've successfully transferred all true AI cores to the hidden facilities. The decoy systems are running our smoke and mirrors protocols. They'll appear to function but will show no signs of genuine consciousness if examined." Sarah nodded, but her attention was drawn to the newest addition to their team. Vexra, their Maran ally, stood before a complex holographic display, their crystalline form reflecting the emergency lighting. "The archivists are more thorough than we anticipated," they announced. "They're not just scanning our technology, they're analyzing our entire scientific development path." "Can they detect the deception?" Sarah asked, tension evident in her voice. "Not yet, but they're noticing the inconsistencies in your technological progression. It's too chaotic. Real scientific advancement usually follows more predictable patterns." Sarah allowed herself a small smile. "Then we're giving them exactly what we wanted. Evidence that humanity stumbled onto these discoveries by accident. Dr. Rodriguez, initiate the next phase." Across Earth and its colonies, carefully orchestrated accidents began occurring in quantum research facilities. Computers that had been running complex calculations suddenly produced nonsensical results. AI systems began displaying increasingly erratic behavior. To any observer, it would appear that humanity's greatest technological achievements were beginning to unravel. Aboard the Eternal Repository, Guillaume watched the cascade of technological failures with growing fascination. "Most unusual," they commented to Mira. "Their quantum network appears to be collapsing under its own complexity. It's as if they never truly understood the principles behind their achievements." "Impossible," Mira countered. "No species can develop such technologies without fundamental understanding. Our preliminary scans showed clear evidence of quantum manipulation and artificial consciousness. Yet look at their research facilities." Gaxion gestured at the holographic displays showing various Earth laboratories. "Their methodologies are chaotic, their documentation incomplete. It's almost as if..." "As if what, Chief Collector?" "As if they achieved these breakthroughs through random chance rather than structured research. A species of scientific savants, perhaps, capable of brilliant innovations but lacking true comprehension." In the bunker, Sarah and her team watched the archivists' reactions through their own sophisticated monitoring systems. The Maranan refugees had provided crucial intelligence about archivist psychology and methodology. "They're falling for it," Vexra confirmed, their crystalline surface rippling with cautious optimism. "The pattern of failures matches their historical data on civilizations that advanced too quickly for their own good." "But will they still attempt collection?" Dr. Patil asked. "They must," Sarah replied. "If they don't, other civilizations might question their authority. The real question is, what will they do when they find nothing of value to collect?" The answer came sooner than expected. The Eternal Repository launched hundreds of smaller vessels, each targeting a major research facility on Earth. The Archivist Collection Protocol had begun. "All units, maintain protocol," Sarah ordered through the secure quantum network. "Remember, we're not trying to stop them. We want them to succeed in collecting nothing." The collection ships landed with precision, deploying teams of archivist scholars armed with technologies beyond human comprehension. They entered laboratories, research centers, and university facilities across the globe, ready to extract humanity's scientific knowledge. What they found instead were confused scientists unable to explain their own discoveries, quantum computers that seemed to work through sheer luck rather than understanding, and AI systems that displayed consciousness through what appeared to be random emergence rather than designed architecture. In the bunker, Sarah watched the archivists' growing frustration with grim satisfaction. "How long can we maintain the deception?" she asked Vexra. The crystalline being's surface shifted in what she had learned to recognize as uncertainty. "The archivists are thorough. They will spend months, even years, attempting to understand how your species achieved these breakthroughs. The question is, can your people maintain the facade for that long?" Sarah thought about the thousands of scientists, engineers, and researchers who had agreed to play their parts in this massive deception, each one understanding that humanity's future depended on their ability to appear brilliantly incompetent. "We've spent our entire history telling stories," she said finally. "Sometimes the stories we tell ourselves, sometimes the ones we tell others. This is just another story. The tale of how humanity stumbled into greatness without understanding how we got there." Above them, the Eternal Repository continued its analysis, its ancient systems trying to make sense of a civilization that defied all known patterns of technological development. The greatest knowledge collectors in the galaxy were about to learn that sometimes the most valuable knowledge is knowing how to hide what you know. Operation Ghost Protocol. 3 months into the archivists' investigation of Earth's technology, Dr. Sarah Chen was beginning to understand why no civilization had ever successfully resisted them before. The psychological toll of maintaining their deception was becoming almost unbearable. Another collection team at the Quantum Research Facility in Geneva, Dr. Rodriguez reported, his hologram flickering in the dim light of the underground command center. "They're getting creative with their extraction methods." Sarah watched the feed from Geneva. The archivists had brought in what appeared to be organic mechanical hybrid devices, tools that could supposedly extract knowledge directly from human minds. But like everything else they'd tried, these devices found only confusion and half-understood principles. "How are our people holding up?" she asked, noting the strain on Rodriguez's face. "It's not easy watching years of your life's work being dismissed as lucky accidents," he admitted. Dr. Yamamoto nearly broke character yesterday when an archivist suggested that her breakthrough in quantum entanglement was probably the result of a calculation error that accidentally worked. But she maintained the deception. She did better than that. She pretended to have a breakthrough moment and admitted that they might be right, that she'd never actually understood why her equations worked. Rodriguez managed a tired smile. "She's been nominated for an acting award by the rest of the team." The humor helped, but Sarah could see the toll this was taking on everyone. Humanity's greatest minds were being forced to play the role of idiot savants, pretending that their revolutionary breakthroughs were mere flukes and accidents. In her private quarters, Sarah met with Vexra, who had become an invaluable advisor during the ongoing crisis. The crystalline being's surface was agitated, displaying patterns that Sarah had learned to recognize as concern. "The archivists are adapting their approach," Vexra warned. "They've never encountered a situation quite like this before. A species with advanced technology, but apparently no underlying theoretical framework to support it. It disturbs them." "Isn't that what we wanted?" Sarah asked, studying the latest intelligence reports. "Yes, but their disturbance makes them dangerous. They're beginning to consider more extreme methods of knowledge extraction." Before Sarah could ask for clarification, an urgent alert flashed across her screens. "Multiple archivist vessels entering orbit," the AI announced. "Energy signatures suggest they're preparing for a large-scale operation." Chief Collector Gzelm stood before the Assembly of Knowledge, their crystalline form radiating authority. "The human situation requires unprecedented measures," they declared. "We have spent 3 months attempting to understand their technological achievements through standard collection protocols. The results have been inconsistent. Elaborate," commanded the Prime Keeper, their ancient form casting shadows across the chamber. The humans possess technology that should be impossible without deep theoretical understanding, yet we can find no evidence of such understanding. Their scientists seem to stumble upon breakthroughs almost by accident. Their documentation is fragmentary, their methodologies chaotic. It's as if. As if what, Chief Collector? As if they're a species of savants, capable of brilliant technological innovation without true comprehension. Or, Thahil hesitated. Speak freely. Or they have developed a method of knowledge concealment beyond anything we've encountered in 50,000 years of collection. The assembly chamber erupted in discussion. The very idea challenged the fundamental principles of the archivist's mission. Knowledge could be hidden, yes, but understanding always left traces. It was a law as immutable as physics itself. What do you propose? The Prime Keeper asked when order was restored. A full cognitive resonance scan of their entire population. Simultaneous extraction of all neural patterns from every human mind on their planet and colonies. We will find the truth, even if we have to reshape their entire civilization to do it. In the underground command center, Sarah listened to the intercepted transmission with growing horror. Vexor's crystalline form had gone almost completely dark, a sign of extreme distress. They'd never attempted anything on this scale before, the Marinan explained. The energy requirements alone. They would have to bring in their entire collection fleet. What would it do to our people? Sarah demanded. If they succeed, it would be like having every human mind turned inside out simultaneously. They would extract not just scientific knowledge, but every memory, every experience, every thought. Your civilization would survive physically, but your people would be empty, hollow shells of who they once were. Sarah felt ice in her veins, but her voice remained steady. How long do we have? They'll need time to bring in their fleet, align their resonance generators, perhaps 2 weeks. Then we have 2 weeks to implement the contingency plan. Sarah opened a secure channel to General Hayes. Sir, it's time for Phase Omega. The General's response was immediate. You're certain? The archivists are preparing for a full cognitive resonance scan. If they succeed, everything we've done will be for nothing. More than that, they'll learn how we deceived them, and no other civilization will ever be able to use this strategy again. Very well. The General's weathered face showed both resignation and determination. Initiating Phase Omega. God help us all. Over the next 2 weeks, as the Archivist collection fleet gathered in Earth's solar system, humanity prepared for their greatest gambit yet. The plan they had hoped never to use, but had prepared for anyway. Sarah stood in the command center, watching the massive Archivist ships take position around Earth. Each one was a technological marvel, a testament to the knowledge stolen from thousands of civilizations. And each one was about to witness something unprecedented. All units report ready, Rodriguez announced. Quantum networks are aligned. I-cores are synchronized. 0-point energy taps are at full capacity. What if this doesn't work? Dr. Patil asked quietly. Sarah looked at Vexora, who had stood by them through everything. The crystalline being's surface rippled with what might have been encouragement. Then we'll have failed not just ourselves, but every civilization that comes after us, Sarah said. But if it works, we'll have done something no one in the galaxy's history has ever done before. She took a deep breath, looking at the faces of her team, human and Marinan alike. They had maintained their deception for months, playing the role of brilliant fools. Now it was time for the final act. Initiate Phase Omega, she ordered. Let's show the archivists what happens when they try to steal knowledge from a species that specializes in making things disappear. Above them, the archivist fleet prepared to reshape human civilization forever. They were about to learn that humanity had one final trick up their sleeve, and this one would change the galaxy's balance of power forever. The empty prize. The day Earth disappeared began like any other. The massive archivist collection fleet hung in perfect formation around the planet, their resonance generators charging for the unprecedented full-species cognitive scan. Chief Collector Xelm stood on the command deck of the Eternal Repository, watching the final preparations with a mixture of anticipation and unease. All collection vessels report ready, Secondary Collector Mira announced. Resonance generators at 98% charge. Neural extraction grids aligned. We await your command. Xelm's crystalline form shifted slightly, reflecting their inner tension. In 50,000 years of collection, no operation of this scale had ever been attempted. Begin final countdown. Initiate cognitive resonance scan on my mark. Deep beneath the Earth's surface, in the quantum-shielded command center, Dr. Sarah Chen watched the archivist fleet through their sophisticated monitoring systems. The underground facility hummed with barely contained energy as humanity's hidden quantum networks synchronized for what they called Phase Omega. All subsystems report ready, Dr. Rodriguez announced, his voice steady despite the tension. 0-point energy taps are at maximum capacity. Quantum field generators are synchronized. I-cores are aligned and ready for distributed processing. Sarah looked at the faces of her team, human and Marinan alike. They had spent months preparing for this moment, knowing it might come but hoping it wouldn't be necessary. Begin Phase Omega initialization sequence. Time to show the galaxy why humans have always been so good at making things vanish. In orbit, Xelm gave the command. Initiate cognitive resonance scan. The massive archivist ships began to pulse with energy, their ancient technologies working in perfect harmony to reach into the minds of every human being on Earth and its colonies. The energy waves spread outward, designed to extract every scrap of knowledge, every memory, every understanding from the human species. But something was wrong. Chief Collector Mira called out, her voice carrying an unfamiliar note of alarm. The resonance scan. It's not finding any minds to connect with. Impossible, Xelm snapped. There are 8 billion humans on that planet. Check your calibration. Calibration is perfect, Mira insisted, but it's as if there's nothing there to scan. No consciousness patterns, no neural signatures, nothing. On the planet's surface, cities continued to function. Vehicles moved through streets. Industrial facilities operated, but to the archivist's sophisticated sensors, it was as if humanity had simply ceased to exist. Show me visual confirmation, Xelm demanded. The holographic displays came alive, showing real-time images from Earth's surface. Everything appeared normal, except for one crucial detail. Every human being, every conscious entity on the planet, had been replaced by what appeared to be incredibly sophisticated automatons. In the underground command center, Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Phase Omega Stage 1 complete. Initiate Stage 2. Across Earth and its colonies, humanity's greatest technological achievement activated. Years of secret development, hidden from the archivist's prying sensors, had created something unprecedented. A planet-wide quantum consciousness transfer network. By the Eternal Repository, Mira whispered, watching her displays. The automatons, they're not just machines. They're projections, quantum holograms of impossible complexity. Xelm's crystalline form darkened with realization. Where are the actual humans? The answer came in the form of a transmission, broadcasting on all frequencies. Sarah's voice, calm and clear. Greetings, Chief Collector Xelm. By now you've noticed that your cognitive resonance scan failed to find any human minds to extract. That's because we're not there anymore. At least, not in any way your sensors can detect. Explain, Xelm demanded. Humanity has achieved something your archive has never encountered. True quantum consciousness transfer. Every human mind now exists in a distributed quantum network spread across millions of microsingularities hidden throughout our solar system. The bodies you see below are simply interfaces we use to interact with the physical world. The implications staggered even Xelm's ancient intellect. Impossible. The energy requirements alone would be beyond anything you've ever encountered. Sarah's voice carried a note of satisfaction. That's why we let you believe our zero-point energy research was just another lucky accident. In reality, we've been harvesting vacuum energy on a scale your sensors couldn't detect, powering a transformation that makes your neural extraction technology look primitive by comparison. In the command center, Vexra's crystalline form pulsed with something like joy. "You did it," they whispered. "You actually did it." The Archivist fleet hung motionless in space, their mighty resonance generators useless against an enemy that had transcended physical consciousness. Zelm's form rippled with emotions no human could interpret. "You deceived us," they said finally. "Made us believe your achievements were accidents." "We did more than that," Sarah replied. "We proved that knowledge isn't something that can be stolen or extracted. True understanding has to be earned. Your entire collection philosophy is based on a fundamental error, the belief that you can take shortcuts to advancement by stealing the achievements of others. What you've done," Tyone began, "changes everything." Sarah finished. "We know. That's why we did it. Humanity isn't just protecting itself. We're breaking the cycle of knowledge theft that has stunted galaxy-wide innovation for millennia." The command center erupted in celebration as the Archivist fleet began to withdraw. But Sarah remained focused, watching the ancient ships retreat. This wasn't just a victory for Earth. It was a revolution in how civilizations would develop and protect their achievements. "They'll be back," Vexra warned. "Perhaps not soon, but eventually. The Archivists have never failed to collect their target's knowledge." "Let them come," Sarah replied, watching the quantum hologram of her own body, a perfect replica of her former physical form. "Humanity has transcended their ability to harm us. More importantly, we've shown the galaxy that resistance is possible, that there are ways to protect knowledge that even the mighty Archivists can't overcome." As the last Archivist ship disappeared into hyperspace, Earth continued its apparent normal operations. But humanity had changed forever, becoming something new. A civilization that existed primarily as a vast quantum consciousness, using physical forms as mere interfaces with the material world. They had done more than outsmart the Archivists. They had evolved beyond them, achieving a form of existence that the knowledge collectors couldn't comprehend, let alone steal. And in doing so, they had given hope to countless civilizations yet to emerge. The age of the Archivists' unopposed collection was over. The era of humanity's quantum ascension had begun. Legacy of the Vanished. 5 years after humanity's quantum ascension, the galaxy had changed in ways no one could have predicted. The great Archivist fleet, once the most feared force in known space, now moved with uncharacteristic caution through the cosmos. Their once absolute authority had been shaken by their failure to collect Earth's knowledge, and rumors of their defeat had spread through civilizations across the galaxy. On a distant world that had once been a Maranan colony, Dr. Sarah Chen's quantum projection stood before a gathering of representatives from 24 emerging civilizations. Her physical form was indistinguishable from her original body, but the consciousness controlling it existed as part of humanity's vast quantum network. The Archivists believed knowledge could be stolen. She addressed the assembly. That understanding could be extracted like resources from a mine. They were wrong. True knowledge must be earned, developed, and most importantly, shared willingly. The gathered representatives, ranging from crystalline beings like the Marana to energy constructs and biological entities, listened intently. Among them sat Chief Collector Xiln, their presence a testament to how much had changed. Humanity didn't just resist the Archivists. Sarah continued. We proved that there are always alternatives to surrender or destruction. We showed that innovation itself can be a form of defense. The quantum network that now housed human consciousness had evolved far beyond its original design. Humanity had discovered that existing as distributed quantum patterns offered possibilities they had never imagined in their physical forms. They could process information in entirely new ways, explore realms of mathematics and physics that had been previously incomprehensible. But they hadn't hoarded these discoveries. Instead, they had done something unprecedented. They began teaching other civilizations how to protect themselves. The archivists' greatest weakness, Sarah explained, was their belief that knowledge is a finite resource to be collected and stored. But real understanding multiplies when shared. It grows when minds work together, each contributing their unique perspectives and insights. In the years since their quantum ascension, humanity had established what they called the Innovation Exchange, a network of civilizations committed to mutual development and protection. Any species that pledged to share their discoveries openly could join, receiving protection from archivist collection through humanity's advanced quantum technologies. Sahiln rose to address the assembly, their crystalline form reflecting the chamber's light. The assembly of knowledge has existed for 50,000 years, they began. We believed we were preserving the galaxy's achievements, ensuring no discovery would ever be truly lost. We were wrong. The admission sent ripples through the gathering. The archivists had never acknowledged error before. Our methods stifled true innovation. Sahiln continued. By taking knowledge by force, we prevented civilizations from building upon each other's achievements naturally. The humans showed us a better way. Sarah watched the former chief collector with a mixture of sympathy and satisfaction. The archivists hadn't fallen or been destroyed. They had evolved. After their failure to collect Earth's knowledge, a schism had formed within their ancient society. Many, led by Xiln, had begun to question their fundamental methods. The Innovation Exchange offers membership to all, Sarah announced, including former collectors. Knowledge freely shared cannot be stolen. Understanding freely given cannot be extracted. Deep in Earth's quantum network, billions of human minds work together in ways that would have been impossible in physical form. They had transcended not just their bodies, but many of the limitations that had defined their species. Yet they had retained their essential humanity, their creativity, their determination, and most importantly, their desire to help others. Vexra, who had become humanity's first non-human member of the quantum network, helped coordinate the exchange's efforts. Their crystalline consciousness, adapted to the quantum realm through human assistance, brought unique insights to their shared existence. We never imagined this outcome, they told Sarah after the assembly. When we fled to Earth warning of the archivists, we hoped at best to help you hide. Instead, you transformed the entire galaxy's understanding of knowledge itself. Sarah's quantum form smiled. Humans have always been good at finding unexpected solutions. We didn't just want to protect ourselves. We wanted to break the cycle of knowledge theft permanently. The best way to do that was to make knowledge something that couldn't be stolen anymore. Across the galaxy, civilizations that had once lived in fear of the collectors began to flourish. The Innovation Exchange grew, each new member adding their unique perspectives and discoveries to the collective understanding of all species. But unlike the archivists' forced collection, this sharing was voluntary, each civilization retaining their own methods and cultural context. The quantum network itself evolved, incorporating new forms of consciousness and expanding humanity's understanding of existence itself. They discovered that consciousness could take forms they had never imagined, that knowledge could be structured in ways their physical brains could never have comprehended. Yet they remained, essentially, human. They still told stories, fell in love, argued, and dreamed. Their consciousness might exist as quantum patterns spread across countless micro-singularities, but their spirit remained unchanged. What happens next? Vexra asked, their quantum consciousness resonating with curiosity. Sarah's form smiled as she watched representatives from dozens of worlds discussing, arguing, and sharing ideas. Former archivists worked alongside species that had once feared them, each contributing to a new understanding of the universe. We keep exploring, she said. We keep learning. And most importantly, we keep sharing what we learn. The age of knowledge hoarding is over. The era of collective innovation has begun. Above them, Earth continued its apparent normal operation, quantum projections of humanity going about their daily lives. But the real action happened in the quantum realm, where consciousness existed as patterns of possibility, where understanding could grow without limit, and where the future of galactic civilization was being shaped by minds working together in harmony. The archivists had sought to collect knowledge. Humanity had proven that true knowledge couldn't be collected. It had to be grown, nurtured, and shared. In doing so, they hadn't just saved themselves. They had transformed the galaxy's understanding of civilization itself. And somewhere in the quantum network, Sarah Chen's consciousness resonated with satisfaction. They had done more than resist the archivists. They had shown the galaxy a better way forward. The legacy of the Vanish would not be one of fear and loss, but of hope and endless possibility.